As comic book fans know, Orm was Aquaman's brother in the comics, and at a certain point he became a supervillain called the Ocean Master. And just for again, for the simplicity's sake for people who don't know a lot of the complicated backstory from the comics, we decided to make, Orm's betrayal of Aquaman be the main thrust of the story. We toyed with the idea of actually turning him into Ocean Master at a certain point. It ultimately came down to a visual. We tried designing his character in a number of ways, and the Ocean Master design just, we just hit a brick wall with it. We just couldn't figure out a way to actually make it look really interesting and cool. So we incorporated a little bit of that fish motif in the helmet that he wears when he usurps the throne from Aquaman. But he doesn't really ever become Ocean Master, and you can't even say the name Ocean Master. It just sounds kind of goofy. So that's why we kind of played him a little bit straighter. It's tricky to do a character like Deadshot in the animated world because Deadshot's whole thing is that he's like the world's greatest assassin. Well, in children's programming, we can't really ever kill anybody. So you have a guy who's the world's greatest assassin, and yet he's never allowed to do what he does best. And we thought, well, it'd be kind of neat, just kind of like the Kanjar Row thing in Blackest Night. We thought it'd be kind of neat, well, if you're gonna use an assassin, let's make it Deadshot. That was kind of an obvious nod to the comic book fans. It's like, okay, you're expecting an assassin, and it turns out to be Deadshot. It's like, wow, that's kind of neat. And he had kind of an interesting costume in the comics. So that was, gave him a much more interesting visual than if he had just been a hired thug. Voice-wise, Michael Rosenbaum, who plays the Flash for us, he's, when we're just goofing around in between takes when we're recording, he's constantly doing impressions and goofing around. And earlier he had done a Christopher Walken impression while he was goofing around one day, and we thought, wow, that's really great. It's a really funny impression. Let's use that someday. And so we ended up having him do the Christopher Walken voice in The Return of the Joker. And one of the other goofy voices he had done is a really dead-on Kevin Spacey voice.
Okay, I give up.
So we remembered that, and we thought, wow, that'd be really cool if the quote-unquote Kevin Spacey voice was Deadshot's voice, and it worked out really great.
You tried to kill Aquaman. Why?
Gee, why would a hired gun try to shoot somebody? Could it be that someone paid me to?